Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. I definitely needed to do a bit of a chiller video. If you missed last week's video, it was a 2.5-ish hour declutter video. I had a lot of fun with it, but it was a lot of work. So I definitely needed the week after to just kind of be a bit chiller. And I thought a tag video would be perfect. This is a tag I've seen a bunch of people do, and I'm like really late to the tag, but this is a tag I've seen a lot of people do, and I am pretty late getting to this tag, but I thought it was super interesting and I really want to get into it. This is called the Content Creator Confessions tag. And this was created by two of my favorite, like really cool YouTubers. This is Better Off Red and Cate the Great Beauty. Cate the Great Beauty, I remember catching her videos back when she had like 2,000 subscribers. She's one of my favorites. I'll have both of their original videos linked down below. This tag has 17 questions and I feel like it's gonna get pretty chatty, so I've got my drink, I've got a White Claw, get your beverage, get a snack, let's get in. Do you need to squeak right now? Question number 1 is, how do you feel about the term influencer? And do you feel you are one? I will say overall, I prefer the term influencer to what was like previously the big terms. I don't like beauty guru. I don't like that term. I don't feel like the word guru should be co-opted in that way. There's a lot of meaning behind that word. There's a lot of symbolism and everything that, to be frank, I don't think it was ever really applicable. So I'm glad we don't use that as often. I definitely prefer the term influencer. Rude. Over time now, though, I feel like it's been, like almost everything else, incredibly, like, overused. To the point where now it just feels like a meh kind of term, but like at the very base, like definition of it, I feel like I am, to a certain extent, just by virtue of the amount of people that have reached out to me saying, oh, I bought XYZ thing because of your recommendation. And at the bare minimum, that is what an influencer does. They influence you to do something, or buy something, or do something. So yes, I feel like at the very core of it, influencer is a better term than what was previously used, and I do feel like at times, I'm not like one of the biggest YouTubers ever, right? But I've gotten enough comments and DMs to feel like that is applicable to me as well. Question number 2 is, how did you decide you wanted to become a content creator? So this is an interesting, like, worded question, because I didn't decide I wanted to become a content creator. That kind of came after. What I really wanted is I really wanted to be like all the fun YouTubers I was watching in my day-to-day life. And I really wanted to build and be a part of the community. So that's why I joined YouTube, is because I wanted to be a part of the community, reach out, make connections with people that also loved makeup as much as I did. Because I had no one in my everyday life that was as interested or even interested at all in makeup. So that's why I joined. So I joined to kind of get in on the action, do project pans, show my progress, make friends, all of that jazz. So really it was content creation, like, was the second. It came after, it came later. And that was another passion. It was something fun. It was something new to me. I had no idea how to film, how to edit, sound, lighting, anything. I knew nothing. If you look back at my earliest videos, they are extremely rough. but I did enjoy it. So that's kind of how I got into it. I didn't get into it by being passionate at the beginning about like filming and editing and everything. That came later as I learned. Question number 3 is, what is your experience with knowing other creators in life, good or bad? I feel like I'm very fortunate. I've only had good experiences, and I've met some of my very good friends through YouTube, through Instagram, and other creators that I've met. I don't think I've met anyone in person after meeting them, but also, I mean, COVID. I started my channel in earnest in 2018, and then like COVID hit 2020. So I didn't really have a whole lot of time between work and everything to kind of travel and like meet people in person. But everyone that I've met that I keep in contact with through text, calls, phone, you know, every other social media, it's been very, very positive. And I think the types of YouTubers I was also drawn to were kind of like me. Like, they were smaller creators, really passionate about the makeup. So I feel like I really lucked out. And that's, again, like I said, that was kind of the main point of me starting my channel, was to make those kind of connections. So I also feel like being open and kind of earnest like that led to a better experience, because I wasn't like trying to connect with people like just to grow my channel, or like, you know, for like as a stepping stone. That sounds kind of rough, but you know, there are like those fake friendships people make, you know, to gain clout or to get more subscribers or followers. And I was never about that, even never from the beginning. So I feel like being earnest and honest with my outreach, and just like my want to like make genuine friendships really helped me there. So every experience that I've had meeting creators, talking with them behind the scenes, so to speak, it's all been very, very positive. Question number 4 is, do you accept sponsorships and how do you feel about them? So I do accept sponsorships. I haven't gotten a whole lot of them. I tend to get more just like regular PR than actual sponsored content, but I've done a few sponsored videos and I do appreciate it. I have to say, I am very grateful to be able to learn from others here. Like some bigger YouTubers, they came out with like what I wish I knew about sponsorship kind of videos. And then just like in general, being able to like follow the beauty community through like the shitstorm that was 2016 and not disclosing your affiliate links and like shady practices there. I was grateful I was able to learn kind of from all of that and then put it to use when I got to the point where I was being offered sponsorship. So I was very, very picky. If you have your email out there attached to your channel, you'll get a lot of like sketchy random emails and like sponsorship or PR offers that are very, very sketchy. So I'm glad that I was able to kind of learn and get exposed to that through the other YouTubers that I follow before it happened to me directly. Because I was able to learn, I was able to parse out really a lot of the junk from what was an actual, good offer. And then even then, negotiating helped a lot too. So I will say I feel positive about sponsorships as long as they are disclosed. Nothing makes me angrier than seeing a sponsorship like only mentioned like at the very bottom of a description box or not even at all. It's the worst thing. I hate it so much. There's actually one of my I used to have a very favorite YouTuber. I'm not going to say them by name, but I had to stop following them because almost every video of theirs was sponsored, and at the end of the video, I would be watching and I was like, oh, that sounded like an ad, but she never said it was sponsored, and I checked the description box. Well, it turns out it was the very last line. It was a long description box. The very last line said, thank you to blah, blah, blah for sponsoring this video. I don't like that. I stopped following her. So I can't do that. So as long as you're upfront about your sponsorship, I don't see anything wrong with it. Ooh, question number 5 is, have you had an experience with a brand that left a bad taste in your mouth? Okay, maybe. I don't want to get too specific here. I don't want to totally out the brand. But there was a brand that sent me a good amount of PR, and I should not have done this at the time, but I basically incorporated the PR into videos. And not just because they sent me PR. The only reason I did this is because I actually really enjoyed the products. I love the products. I had bought from them before, so I had purchased from them multiple times, and then they reached out and offered PR. But it was one of those, they offered PR for a mention in a video. And so I was like, okay, I like the products. I know I'll include them. So I did it just because I know even if they had not sent me PR, I still would have mentioned the products. Anyway, but it was a few months of this where they would send me PR, I would incorporate them where applicable in different videos, and I even did 1 or 2 specific videos just because I, again, really liked the products. But then after I did 1 or 2 sponsored videos, I realized that the sponsored videos that I was actually getting paid for were basically the same thing that this brand was asking for, just for product. And so when they reached out again, I said, okay, hey, so I've done a sponsorship, I'm willing to negotiate now if you want to actually pay for an actual sponsored video on my channel. Here's my, guidelines, here's all my analytics, here's everything you need. Be more than willing to negotiate this out. And then I never heard from them again. It was the minute I stopped doing content for them for just product, they didn't care anymore. So that's kind of shitty, but I still love the products. They're still really good products that I still use to this day. So part of me is oh, well, that's shitty. I didn't like that. But then the other part of me is well, they're really affordable and they got good products and I really like them. So yeah, I think that's probably the worst experience I've had with a brand, which, all said and done, not terrible. Really, I've heard so many other horror stories from other creators that I'm grateful that this is my worst experience. Question number 6 is, how do you deal with negative comments? Now I have to say, I am very, very, again, fortunate here. I don't get that many negative comments. I think I can probably count on both hands the amount of actual nasty or angry comments that I've gotten. And I don't respond to them. I try not to read them. If it's a long paragraph comment and it starts out angry, I try not to read it. But in reality, I don't get them that often. No. So I don't like to delete comments either unless they're like racist or sexist or like something actually like vitriolic. But if it's just like I don't know, like an opinion that maybe not everyone would agree with, or something that's not like racist or sexist or terrible, then I just leave the comment alone and I just don't respond to it. Question number 7 is, what is your biggest pet peeve when it comes to comments? I don't think I have a pet peeve unless, oh, you know what? I lied. I do have one. My only pet peeve is when people comment something where either I answered it in the video, which shows me you didn't watch the whole video before you commented, or if the answer is in the description box and I said in the video, it's in the description box. But at the end of the day, honestly, it's not terrible. Normally, those comments I'll respond to and I say, oh, it's in the description box, or oh, it's this, It's just a tiny little pet peeve. Question number 8 is, what is your favorite part of being a content creator? Now, I gotta say, that's something that I don't know. I never think of myself specifically as a content creator. I think of myself as a YouTuber, because really my focus isn't on, like, technically, my focus isn't really on the videos or the cinematography or, like that aspect of it. It's more along the makeup. So I consider myself a makeup enthusiast. I consider myself a makeup lover. So I never really considered myself like a content creator. Well, that's just a little wording thing. So my favorite part of doing this, I like the community that we have. I love the small content creator or the small beauty community. I think it's so much healthier than the larger community, which, you can say that for just about any community on the internet. It is the internet. But I just love the small beauty community. I love watching other people's videos. I love commenting. I love getting comments on my videos, and I love being able to give recommendations, like hyper specific recommendations to people that are like, oh, I finally found your black lipstick video. I love this. Do you have a recommendation for XYZ? I love being able to be like, oh, I have experience there. I can answer your question. So I think that's my favorite part, is being able to share what I've learned and just see it kind of bubble out in this cute little community. On the flip side, question number 9 is, what is your least favorite part of being a content creator? I don't know. I think it might just be timing. It is difficult, and I think I said this in any other tag. It's just scheduling can be difficult when you've got like a busy full-time job, a busy social life. There are weeks where, as much as I loved this, the last thing I wanted to do was like plan and film and edit, but I put myself through it because I like being consistent. And this is my hobby. I like doing it. And I don't want to get into like another funk where, like, when you get into kind of a depressive episode, the first thing you do is kind of stop doing stuff that brings you joy. And ultimately, this brings me joy. So I think that's the only thing, is that sometimes scheduling can be kind of a pain in the butt. And by scheduling, I mean like finding time to film, finding time to edit, making sure I get my thumbnails ready. Because I will say there are quite a few times when the morning a video goes live, I'm still doing the thumbnail right before it goes live. So I'm still not 100% the best there. Speaking of editing, question number 10 is, do you edit your own content? And if so, do you enjoy it? Yes, I do. I definitely am not at a point where I need to hire someone to do editing for me. I don't think I would ever be at that point. And for the most part, I do enjoy editing. The only times that I don't enjoy editing is like when I'm dealing with technical problems. Like I've had to learn how to like not overload my Mac. And now I have like a nice desktop Mac. There's a lot more memory and RAM, and it really, really helps me. Back when I was on my laptop, oh my god, it would be so slow editing sometimes, so that's when it would be annoying and I wouldn't really enjoy it as much. But now that I've got like a better process and I've got a better computer kind of setup for it, it's a lot more enjoyable. So overall, I like editing. I will say just the only times I don't like it is when like I mess something up and like my computer freezes, or if I have a corrupt file from something, that's annoying. But overall, the editing process I do enjoy. Question number 11 is, where do you draw the line in regard to sharing on social media? That's a really good question. So I feel like I don't know. I never felt like I ever really overshared on social media, even when I was like younger. I think I'm grateful that, I had like a MySpace when I was younger, and I had Facebook in like high school. That was my first social media, I think, was Facebook in high school, and I was required to get that because I had to go to a boarding school and you had to match with your roommate on Facebook to kind of work logistics before you actually got there. So I am grateful that I didn't really get exposed to social media until I was in like my mid-teens and I was a bit more mentally developed. Like, I don't know how bad it would have been to have social media as like a young child. Like that I don't think that would be great. And honestly, I feel for the kids today. It's pretty shitty, honestly. Anyway, where was I going? Okay, oversharing. Yeah, I don't feel like I really overshare on social media. I'm not sharing like my everyday like relationship things, or I don't know. I've never been the kind of person to like throw everything out on social media. I feel like I'm in like a nice place now where I can share sometimes like everyday things, but I'm never one to kind of put like my, I don't know, struggles on social media. I mean here on YouTube, I've done try to get ready with me's where I talk about some difficult times that I've had, but never will I do something kind of in the moment. Like if I'm in the moment, like having a like mental breakdown, I'm not one to like post about it immediately. So I guess that's where my barrier will be. If I do share, it'll be on my own timeline. And I like it to be constructive in a way, because there's the type of people that share every single little thing on social media and way too much about their life. I never wanted to be like that. So I'm comfortable with what I'm sharing right now on YouTube and on Instagram, but yeah, I just think in general, I've never been that kind of person that would post every single thing that I think, like on Instagram or on Facebook, back when I had it. Question number 12 is, name one thing you wish you knew when you were starting out. That's a great question. Here's a great one. I wish I would have made my channel name from the beginning just my name, just Monica Adrianna. Because if you didn't know, before I changed my channel name is called Map Beauty, M-A-P, and that's because those are my initials, Monica Adrianna Perez, so it was my name, and I thought it was cute. I thought it would be cute. Well, map is a term on the internet that means not great things, so that was bad. Yeah. So eventually I did change my channel name to just my name, and honestly I think it's probably the best thing. I think it doesn't matter like what size channel you are. I think I almost called her the Taylor, but Taylor Wynn had the same thing where she had like kind of a different channel name. It was the Taylor, and she said it was just so difficult like trying to spell it for people, and especially when she blew up and she had that name, it was a bit difficult to move away from it. So that is something I wish I had known starting out, is just make your channel name your actual name, or something you're going to be happy with years from now, or you're going to probably have to change it at some point. Question number 13 is there any change you'd like to make to your content in the future? I don't know. I'm pretty happy with my content. I mean, when I move, I think I definitely want to do moving vlogs. Again, I love moving vlogs and that kind of like organization content. But that's eventually when we do move. Because I mean, eventually we're in an apartment now. Once the market is kind of not as crazy, we do want to buy a house. So I think maybe like more lifestyle, home improvement kind of things will come in once we actually have a house where I could actually do stuff, with the house and not just a little apartment. So I think that's really the only thing I would change. I mean, I'm pretty happy with the rest of the content that I'm making right now. And it seems like you guys like watching it. Question number 14 is, what company/collab is your dream? That is a very good question. Honestly, at this point, I think Natasha Denona. Yeah, I feel like if I could do any mystical collab, it would be like a palette with Natasha. I think that'd be really cool. Question number 15 is, what other creator do you admire/want to work with? Honestly, I know she doesn't really post that much anymore, but I would say LS. I love her channel. I love her content. I love her looks, and her just love for the artistry of makeup has inspired me so much. But then in addition, how much she loved her Natasha palettes got me to eventually like finally try them, save up for a palette. And now I have a bunch of Natasha palettes. They're like over here. I need to actually re-rank them. I had a video ranking all my Natasha palettes, but I've bought more since then, so I need to redo it. But she was like the first inspiration for me, so I would totally want to work with her. She's just so cool. I follow her on Instagram. She posts every now and then, but I really hope she's doing good. Question number 16 is, what kind of content do you hate? So I'm just gonna say the umbrella of just lazy content. I don't like it when people, especially, I'm gonna be a little shady here, especially when this is your full-time job. If this is your full-time job and you're putting out lazy content, I hate it. I just hate it. It's like if you're doing a review, like if YouTube is your full-time job and you're doing a product review and you can't be arsed to look up the pronunciation of the product you're reviewing, or if you don't know, like if you have a question about something like mid-filming, and you're just like, oh, well, I don't know. I mean, like, look it up. Google it while you're sitting here. You've got a phone. I've got my phone. I will Google things as I'm filming, and I do this part-time. So that's what gets me. It gets me when it's just blatantly lazy. And there have been quite a few people I've like unsubscribed from because ultimately I was like, how are you putting out such lazy content? Amazed. I don't know. So just in general, I don't like lazy content. All right, it's time for the last question. Oh wow, this went by so fast. Question number 17 is, have you ever had to deal with cancel culture? And if so, how? I agree with Smokey Glow in that I don't like calling it cancel culture. I just think it's holding people accountable. In my personal life, no. I am very pleased that I don't know. Okay, how do I phrase this? I don't know. I don't know what's a nice way of saying that I hold myself up to a certain standard, and I like to live my life according to my own like ethics and morals, right? I'm just amazed that there are so many people that end up having scandals because of past racism, sexism, any other ism. Because if you're not racist or sexist, you're not gonna have them, right? Right. So that's what I think. You know, I don't. Yeah, I just think if you work every day to make yourself the best version of you that you can be, I don't think you'd ever have a problem with cancel culture. And that's what I do. I try to like wake up every day and work on myself and like just be like better than I was previously. And that's all you can ever really ask for, right? Is just keep working towards your goals, be happy in day to day, and just not be a dick to people. I don't know. It just amazes me how hard that is for people, right? Just don't be a dick. Apparently it's really difficult for people. All right, and that's it. That's the end of the video. Man, I think the White Claw hit me at the end. Should I run for president with my tagline just being "Don't be a dick"? Maybe. Monica Adrianna for 2024. Don't be a dick. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Let me know down below what you thought about these questions, and I cannot wait to see you in my next video. Bye.